Most videos tell you the top 10 things to buy to look rich. Not this one. Today, we're exposing the 20 stupidest things people buy that are nothing but a high-cost signal of low financial intelligence. These are the items designed to make you look wealthy while they quietly drain your bank account, signaling desperation, not dominion. Some of these are going to sting, so let's get right into it. The psychology behind this is simple, but it's insidious. People who feel insecure or powerless often chase luxury products to make up for that lack of internal power. It's called conspicuous consumption, using brands to signal that we're important, that we belong, or that we've made it. Here's the paradox. The people most likely to drop a fortune on designer brands often aren't the wealthy. Research shows that those with less money are actually more motivated to buy expensive stuff to project an image of wealth. If you don't feel secure on the inside, showing it on the outside becomes a psychological need. Meanwhile, the truly wealthy, the old money crowd, they do the exact opposite. They value privacy, discretion, and quality over some flashy logo. For them, luxury is something you feel, not something you have to show. They've already made it, and they're comfortable enough in their own skin that they don't need a brand to validate them. Real wealth whispers. It doesn't scream. And the items we're about to cover? They scream. They scream desperation. They scream insecurity. And most of all, they scream, I am making a terrible financial decision. Let's break down the 20 purchases that are nothing more than financial vanity traps. Section 1. Logo-heavy billboard. Fails. We're kicking things off with the most obvious form of financial self-sabotage. Turning yourself into a walking billboard for a company that convinced you its logo is worth more than your money. The truly wealthy avoid visible logos because they see it for what it is. You're just advertising for the brand, not for yourself. It's a rookie mistake and a clear sign of new money trying way too hard. 1. The Prada scrunchie. Let's start with something genuinely baffling. The Prada Nylon scrunchie. This is a hair tie. A simple hair tie. Yet Prada will gladly sell it to you for upwards of $420. You heard me right. For the price of a flight or a nice chunk of an index fund, you can own a piece of nylon to hold your ponytail, marked only by a tiny, triangular metal logo. This thing offers zero functional advantage over a $5 pack of scrunchies from Target. It's made from nylon, durable, sure, but not exactly the peak of luxury. The entire value is tied up in that one tiny logo. It's the ultimate example of entry-level luxury, the cheapest, flashiest thing a brand sells to lure in people who want the name. People don't buy this because it's a better hair tie. They buy it for the idea of Prada. They're buying a tiny ad that says, I'm the kind of person who can drop almost $500 on a hair accessory. The high fades, and what are you left with? A scrunchie. A very, very expensive scrunchie that lost most of its value the second you stretched it. The truly wealthy aren't spending their capital on depreciating hair ties. They're buying assets that make them more money. This isn't a sign of taste. It's a sign you've been duped by marketing. 2. The Burberry logo overload trench. The classic Burberry trench coat is a timeless piece of fashion. But in a quest to cash in on the logo craze, Burberry made a huge mistake. They started plastering their iconic check pattern over everything. They turned a symbol of quiet, British elegance into a loud, garish mess. A classic subtle Burberry trench? That's one thing. We're talking about the pieces where the entire coat is just a canvas for the Burberry check. These items just scream for attention. They've become so linked with showing off that they've been drowned in a sea of counterfeits, making it even harder to justify the price. The irony is, the more a brand plasters its logo everywhere, the less exclusive it feels, and its prestige plummets. The person buying the logo-drenched trench isn't buying quality. They're buying recognition. They want everyone, from across the street, to know they spent over $400 on a coat. But what they're really signaling is that they don't get what luxury is about. True luxury is in the cut, the fabric, the drape, qualities you notice up close, not from a mile away. Wearing a logo-heavy piece just makes you a billboard. It says more about the brand's ad budget than your net worth. Old money circles, especially, see this kind of display as vulgar. This purchase is a trap, a trend that will look dated in a few years, leaving you with an expensive coat that's lost its cool and its resale value. 3. Louis Vuitton monogram handbags. Is there any bigger symbol of wannabe luxury than the Louis Vuitton monogram bag? For decades, it's been the go-to status symbol for people who want to look rich. And that's exactly its problem. The LV monogram has become so common, so heavily faked, and so tied to the fake rich look that it's lost its appeal among the genuinely wealthy. When you can buy a convincing knockoff on any street corner, the original's claim to being special just vanishes. The truly wealthy don't want things that are easily copied. They look for pieces that show a deeper knowledge of quality, from brands like the Row or Loro Piana, where a $5,000 bag might have no logo at all. It's the ultimate if you know flex. The person carrying a big LV monogram bag isn't trying to signal to other millionaires. They're trying to signal to everyone else. It's an external display to make them feel financially secure. But in elite circles, it has the opposite effect. It just marks them as new money, or even worse, someone pretending to have it. And honestly, the quality argument is getting weaker. People report issues with durability, and the canvas material, while tough, isn't the height of luxury. You're paying a massive premium for a logo that, in many circles, has become tacky. 4. The Tiffany Co clothespin. If you ever need proof that luxury brands sometimes laugh at their customers, look no further than the Tiffany Co sterling silver clothespin. I'm not kidding. For around $550, Tiffany's sold a clothespin, identical to the wooden ones you get in a 100-pack for a few bucks, but made of sterling silver with a tiny Tiffany logo. Let's be real. This is a useless object designed to separate fools from their money. Its only purpose is to be a conversation starter, and the conversation is about how much money you are willing to waste. They even marketed it as a high-end way to display photos. You know what else works? A magnet. This thing is the absolute peak of low-value wealth signaling. It has zero utility and zero aesthetic advantage. It's a clothespin. Its value is 100% tied to a brand name stamped on a boring object. The person who buys this is so desperate to be associated with the Tiffany's brand that they will buy literally anything the company sells. The truly wealthy invest in art, real estate, or businesses. They don't spend hundreds of dollars on novelty office supplies. This clothespin is a financial absurdity, a glaring signal of financial illiteracy. It's a trophy for winning the game of showing off while losing at the game of building actual wealth. 5. Balenciaga style, crystal-studded dog harness. Look, spoiling your pet is one thing. But spending over $1,000 on a crystal-studded dog harness from a brand like Balenciaga? That's just nuts. This is where the performance of wealth gets completely detached from reality. You are buying a high-fashion item for an animal that will, without question, try to chew it, roll in mud with it, and generally treat it like a cheap, squeaky toy. The absurdity is just layered. First, the price is insane for something with such a rough and short lifespan. Second, the luxury is entirely for you, not the pet. Your dog does not care about the brand of its harness. It cares about the walk. The purchase is a pure social signal, an attempt to project a lifestyle so lavish that even your pets are dripping in designer gear. This falls into the category of trying way too hard. It's a caricature of wealth, something you'd see in a movie to show a character is out of touch. The truly wealthy might love their pets, but they're often practical. They'll buy the best quality, most durable gear, but it's chosen for function, not logos. Spending 4 figures on a piece of pet equipment that's destined for destruction is like setting money on fire just to show you can. It screams insecurity. Section 2. Absurdly overpriced novelties. Alright, if you thought that was bad, wait till you see what's next. This category is for items so ridiculous, so useless, that their only purpose is to show you have an obscene amount of money to waste. Owning one of these is like wearing a sign that says, "My financial advisor weeps at night." 6. The Balenciaga trash bag. In what might be the greatest troll of the rich ever, Balenciaga released the Trash Pouch in 2022. It is literally a handbag designed to look exactly like a disposable garbage bag. It even came in black, white, and blue, just like the hefty bags under your sink. The catch? It's made of calfskin leather and costs a staggering $1,790. The creative director even admitted it, saying, "I couldn't miss an opportunity to make the most expensive trash bag in the world, because who doesn't love a fashion scandal?" And he was right. The bag is a social experiment to see what people will actually buy. By purchasing it, the owner is trying to say they're so above it all that they can spend nearly $2,000 on something that looks like garbage. But let's call it what it is: a stupid purchase. You're paying a fortune to look like you're carrying trash. While fashion insiders might see it as some deep statement on consumerism, to everyone else, it's just a person holding a very expensive trash bag. This is the peak of performative wealth. It's not about quality, beauty, or investment. It's about being part of a cynical fashion joke, and if you bought it, you're the punchline. 7. The Prada paperclip. If the Tiffany clothespin was a jab, the Prada paperclip was a knockout punch. This thing, first launched for around $185 and later for as much as $400, is a sterling silver clip, shaped like a regular paperclip, marketed as a money clip, and it has one magic word engraved on it: Prada. For the price of one of these, you could buy over 13,000 regular paper clips. The justification is that it's silver and meant to hold your wads of cash. But let's be real. Nobody with actual wads of cash is using a designer paperclip to hold it together. Their money is in the bank, working for them. This product is pure theater. It preys on the desire to brand every single part of your life, no matter how boring. As one person on social media perfectly put it, for $185 the clip should be able to hold their life together. This is a test of brand loyalty and a signal that you have so much disposable income you can afford to be completely frivolous. But it's a signal that only impresses other people who make equally bad financial choices. 8. The 10,000 plus Chanel-style gas can purse. Some of the most absurd items in fashion are these hyper-novelty bags, like the legendary Chanel gas can purse. This isn't a bag for a gas can. The bag is the gas can, made of quilted leather with the Chanel logo. It's a novelty item that takes the idea of a statement piece to its most illogical conclusion. Think of all those other bizarre bags, like Moschino's clutch, shaped like a pigeon. These things are designed for an Instagram photo, not for real life. You can't fit your wallet, phone, or keys in a purse shaped like a gas can. Its only function is to be seen. And that's the problem. These bags can cost upwards of $10,000, a huge amount of money for what is essentially a wearable joke. Its resale value is a gamble, totally dependent on trends. Once the novelty wears off, you're left with an expensive, oddly shaped piece of leather that's impossible to wear. This is the definition of new money flash. The truly wealthy might buy beautiful classic handbags that hold or even grow in value, like a rare Hermes Birkin. They are not spending 5 figures on a bag that will be a joke in a year. Alright, if you're finding this takedown of financial nonsense valuable, and you want to learn how to build real wealth instead of just faking it, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're all about financial intelligence here, and my goal is to help you build a life of freedom, not a life of payments. Don't just watch the game, learn the rules. Subscribe. 9. The $120,000 Tiffany chess set. For the person who has everything and still wants to spend more, Tiffany Co offers a sterling silver, gold, and wood chess set. The price? A cool $120,000. And it is, without a doubt, one of the stupidest things you could possibly buy to look wealthy. Here's why. Chess is meant to be played. It's an intellectual battle that's just as good on a $20 plastic set as it is on this. The $120,000 set gives you no strategic advantage. It doesn't make you a better player. Its only purpose is to sit on a table, untouched, as a monument to the owner's ability to waste an obscene amount of money on a board game. The financial logic is a disaster. People might call it an investment, but the massive premium you're paying for the Tiffany brand name is something you're never likely to get back on resale. You're buying a depreciating asset that's pretending to be a collectible. This kind of purchase signals a total detachment from the value of money. That same $120,000 could fund a scholarship, start a business, or be invested to generate passive income for the rest of your life. The truly wealthy understand compound interest. The fake rich understand showing off. 10. The absurdly priced luxury gum holder. While I don't have one specific example, this represents a whole category of pointless luxury goods. Tiny leather holders for cheap everyday items. We've seen $800 Gucci pencil cases and designer AirPod cases that cost more than the AirPods themselves. Their only function is to wrap a disposable item in an expensive logo. Let's break down the psychology here. The person buying this is trying to signal that their life is so luxurious that even their pack of gum is designer. It's an attempt to create a perfect, branded bubble around themselves. It's also a sign of deep insecurity. These items are financial black holes. They offer zero extra utility. Their markup is thousands of %, and their resale value is basically nothing. Who's out there shopping for a used designer gum holder? This is a classic new money trap. It's a purchase that provides a fleeting dopamine hit of feeling rich, but does absolutely nothing to build actual wealth. It's a symptom of a mindset focused on the appearance of success, not the substance of it. Section 3. Tacky fashion flexes welcome to the runway of financial ruin. This category is for high fashion items so impractical, so bizarre, and so unflattering that they can only be described as ugly and useless. They're designed as performance art and then sold to people who think wearing them gives them elite status. In reality, it just makes everyone else confused. 11. The $4,000 Vetements high boots. Vetements is a brand known for its ironic, deconstructed fashion, and they've made some truly baffling shoes. Among them are thigh-high boots so tall, so impractical, and so outrageously priced at thousands of dollars that they defy all logic. When you see someone in them, the only question is, where are they going? And the answer is, nowhere. Comfortably. These boots aren't for walking. They aren't for sitting. They are designed for one thing: to be photographed. The statement they make is, I am willing to be extremely uncomfortable and spend a fortune to be part of a fleeting trend. The financial stupidity is twofold. First, the cost is insane for something you can barely wear. Second, because it's so extreme and tied to one fashion moment, its resale value will tank the second the trend dies. These boots are destined for the back of a closet, a $4,000 reminder of a bad decision. The truly stylish invest in timeless, beautifully crafted footwear that lasts for years, not costume pieces. 12. The $895 Moschino overlay dress. Moschino has built its brand on satire and pop culture jokes. But sometimes, the joke falls flat, and you're left with something like their overlay dress. A piece so conceptual and weird the only reaction is, why? These are clothes with strange cutouts, plastic overlays, or other elements that make them almost unwearable. For instance, a dress designed to look like a dry cleaning bag is funny for 5 seconds on a runway, but it's just bizarre in real life. You're paying nearly $1,000 to look like you forgot to take your clothes out of the plastic. This is the danger of buying fashion with a wink. You're paying for the irony, but you're not getting a piece of clothing that will make you look or feel good. These are novelty items, and like all novelties, they get old fast. The person buying this is a victim of hype, so desperate to seem in the know that they'll wear something objectively unflattering. 13. The Hermes reusable grocery bag. Even luxury brands are getting into sustainability, which brings us to the Hermes reusable shopping bag. They've offered gorgeous silk and leather bags that fold up, designed for your daily errands. The price? Often well over $1,000. Let's be clear. A reusable grocery bag is a tool for carrying groceries. A 99-cent nylon bag does the job perfectly. A $200 Hermes version does the exact same job, but adds a layer of crippling anxiety every time you put a carton of milk inside it. The person who buys this is trying to signal that even their grocery runs are a high-fashion affair. But what it really signals is a total disconnect from reality. You're taking a fragile, expensive item and subjecting it to leaky containers and dirty parking lots. It's not a practical purchase, it's a performance. The truly wealthy understand using the right tool for the right job. They're not using a silk bag to carry their potatoes. 14. The $640 tulip heel sandals. Every season, a shoe comes along that's more sculpture than footwear. The tulip heel sandal is a perfect example. The heel is shaped like an inverted flower, a delicate, precarious base for a simple sandal. It's a design that screams, "I'm probably going to sprain your ankle." These shoes are fashion's version of a concept car. They're interesting to look at, but they're not meant for the real world. The design is unstable, uncomfortable, and so specific to one season that it becomes instantly dated. You're paying hundreds of dollars for a shoe you'll wear once, regret, and then banish to the back of your closet. True style is about elegance and confidence, not wearing the most outrageous thing in the room. The wealthy invest in shoes that last, not in footwear designed in a fever dream. 15. The $12,000 skinned Yeti coat. Okay, maybe not a real Yeti, but this represents a very real category. The outrageously expensive, visually shocking statement coat that has zero practical value. Think of a massive, shaggy, neon-colored faux fur coat, or a coat with such crazy proportions you look like you're wearing furniture. These can cost tens of thousands of dollars. The person who buys this isn't looking for warmth. A high-quality wool coat is warmer and cheaper. This purchase is about one thing: being noticed. It is a desperate plea for attention, a fashion scream into the void. The financial folly is huge. You're paying a massive premium for a novelty item. It's not versatile. You can't wear it to the office. You can't wear it to a formal event. Because it's so memorable, its value evaporates almost instantly. It's the kind of purchase someone makes after a lottery win, before they learn anything about money. The truly wealthy invest in classic, beautifully tailored overcoats that signal quality, not a desperate need to be photographed. Section 4. Depreciating investment, traps. This final category is the most insidious. These are items people often call investments to justify the high price. They tell themselves these things will hold their value or even appreciate. But in most cases, that's a dangerous lie. These are depreciating assets, designed to drain your money while making you feel smart. 16. The Louis Vuitton Keepall duffel bag. The LV Keepall is often sold as a travel essential, a classic piece for a jet-set life. It's a popular first luxury purchase, seen as a practical investment. The reality? The Keepall, especially the standard monogram one, is a poor investment and a poorly designed product. First, durability. Despite a price tag in the thousands, the canvas is prone to cracking. The untreated leather handles stain easily from the oils on your hands or a single drop of rain. For a piece of luggage, it's surprisingly delicate. Second, the investment argument is weak. Sure, some limited editions might hold their value, but the standard monogram Keepall does not. The resale market is flooded with them, and they often sell for a fraction of the retail price, especially with any signs of wear, which they will get. It's a depreciating asset. For a fraction of the price, you can get luggage with better durability, wheels, and a lifetime warranty. The Keepall is for someone who wants to look like a traveler, not for a savvy traveler. 17. Non-rare luxury watches. E.g. Rolex Flexes. A luxury watch, especially a Rolex, is a classic symbol of making it. People justify the $5,000 or $10,000 price by calling it an investment. It'll hold its value, they say. And for a very small, specific group of rare models, that can be true. But for the vast majority of common luxury watches, it's a myth. The moment you walk out of the store, that watch starts to depreciate. The market is full of the most common models, the Datejusts, the Oyster Perpetuals. Unless you have a rare Daytona, your watch is not an asset like a stock or real estate. It's a piece of jewelry, and its resale value is lower than its retail price. And let's be honest, the main job of a watch, telling time, is done better by your phone. So the luxury watch exists almost purely as a status symbol. The person who stretches their budget to buy an entry-level Rolex is making a huge financial mistake. They're tying up capital that could be making them money in a depreciating asset. The fake rich, often have a watch as one of their most valuable possessions, a dangerous concentration of capital in something that's losing value every day. 18. The $213,000 shirt. This is real. An Indian businessman commissioned a shirt made from over 3 kilograms of solid gold, worth about $213,000 at the time. It was a pure publicity stunt. This is an extreme example, but it perfectly illustrates the foolishness of overspending on clothes. You might not be buying a gold shirt, but the principle applies to any ridiculously priced piece of clothing, like a $91,500 Hermes crocodile skin shirt. These items offer no extra utility. A shirt is just a shirt. It gets dirty. It wears out. The person who buys this is driven by ego, by a need to own something no one else has. But it's a financial dead end. These are not investments. They are wearable gimmicks with terrible resale value. There is a point of diminishing returns with clothing. A well-made shirt will look just as good, if not better, than one with an insane price tag designed for shock value. The truly wealthy get this. They invest in quality and fit, not gimmicks. 19. The $4,000 Fendi embroidery kit. In another case of brands monetizing everything, Fendi once offered a high-end embroidery kit. For around $4,000, you got needles, threads, and a small piece of canvas in a fancy Fendi case. The idea was, you weren't just buying a hobby. You were buying into the luxurious world of Fendi. This is a particularly sneaky form of stupid spending because it pretends to be about creativity. But what are you actually getting for $4,000? Basic craft supplies you could buy at a hobby store for $50. The huge price difference is just for the brand name in the case. The kit won't make you a better embroiderer. It's a status symbol disguised as a hobby. The person who buys this is completely seduced by the brand. They think owning the Fendi embroidery kit makes them part of the Fendi legacy. It doesn't. It just makes them a consumer who paid 100x markup for a logo. The truly creative would buy the best supplies, regardless of brand, and invest the other $3,950. 20. Overdoing it. The walking billboard. Our final item isn't one thing, but a whole lifestyle. The act of overdoing it. This is the person where every single item is a designer flex. The Gucci belt, the Prada shoes, the Dior sunglasses, the Rolex watch. They are a walking, breathing advertisement for luxury brands. This comes from a deep insecurity and a total misunderstanding of wealth. They've seen a caricature of a rich person in a movie and are just copying the costume. But it has the opposite effect. It doesn't look confident. It looks desperate. Real wealth whispers. The wealthiest people often dress in high-quality, unbranded clothing. Their confidence is internal, not external. They don't need to prove anything. The person who is overdoing it is in a dangerous financial spot. They've likely spent a huge chunk of their income, or even gone into debt, to get this collection of logos. It's a house of cards built on depreciating assets. This isn't a sign of having made it. It's a sign you're on a treadmill of consumption, fooling no one but yourself. So there you have it. 20 of the most financially illiterate purchases people make trying to look wealthy. From logo-drenched bags to absurd novelties, they all tell the same story. Someone is prioritizing the appearance of wealth over the accumulation of it. They're trading their freedom and their future for a quick hit of status. The core lesson is this: real wealth isn't what you show off, it's what you build. It's about owning assets, not liabilities. It's about financial freedom, not financial theater. The truly wealthy know that money is a tool to build a life of choice, security, and impact, not something to waste on trinkets to impress strangers. The next time you feel the pull of a luxury brand, ask yourself, am I buying this for its quality or for what it says about me? Am I buying an asset or am I buying a billboard? Because if you're tempted by anything on this list, you're not just buying a product, you're buying into a lie. The lie that looking rich is the same as being rich. And that is the most expensive lie of all. Focus on building a life that feels good on the inside, not one that just looks good on the outside. Measure your wealth in time and choices, not in logos and likes. That is the true path to dominion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What's the stupidest wealthy purchase you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more content that cuts through the noise and gives you the truth about building real, lasting wealth. Thanks for watching.